Have you ever been told that your sexual energy is your Kundalini energy? This mistake has even been made in some pretty ancient texts. And that by simply feeling aroused, or by moving that arousal up the spine, you're awakening Shakti, specifically Kundalini Shakti. Because this gets complex, because yes, that tantric, that sensual energy, that arousal energy, is one of the three Shaktis. Yet it's not Kundalini Shakti. So let's clear up that illusion right now. Because the Jing is your sensual essence, not Kundalini cosmic energy, your sexual essence, your sensual essence. It is one of the raw materials that can awaken Kundalini Shakti. But that is not the same thing. And until you understand the difference between Jing, perhaps we could call it Ojas, Prana or Chi, and then Shakti, or perhaps we can call it Shen, we have to be a little bit careful here, then you will keep mistaking pleasant sensations for awakening, and the movement for consciousness, or what some may call conscious ascension. So let's go deep into the energy of essence, the Jing, that sensual arousal energy, and see how this vital force, not life force, vital creative force, can either be wasted or transformed into that fire that can ignite Kundalini Shakti. Most people in the modern energy world believe there is just one energy, it's all the same, it's prana, it's Kundalini, it doesn't make any difference, it's all the same thing. This is much like saying there is one light outside of the human body, yet inside the human body, it's like a light passes through a prism, and there are many different levels of energy. Or it's like saying light and sound are the same thing. So they call life force energy, they call sexual energy or sensual energy, that tantric Jing, that essence, and Kundalini cosmic energy, Shakti, as one big vibration. It's like a soup. But in inner alchemical systems, in the classical tantric and Taoist maps, there are distinct frequencies for this so-called one energy. Jing is your vital essence. Jing, this sensual energy. It is a dense, generative power stored primarily in the organs that are used for creation, the reproductive system. It's what gives you your vitality, your magnetical attraction, and your creative potency. Prana or Chi is the movement of vital life force, the animating energy that flows through the nadis or the meridians, the subtle energy channel. Shakti, or perhaps Shen, some people will say they're different, yet, is the energy of Kundalini. Not masculine, not feminine, energy. This is what enables us to connect to consciousness in motion, that of Shiva or Shiv, the divine current that awakens when connected, and it awakens you to yourself and the outer energies of consciousness. So when people say, my Kundalini is rising, what is actually moving could be prana, could be that arousal energy, or it could be Kundalini Shakti. And even Kundalini Shakti rising in the spine is not an awakening. It is Kundalini Shakti rising. But it can so easily be mistaken for that of Jing or Qi stirring and moving through the body. It's the energy that is starting the engine. It's not the rocket launching. Granted, that sensual energy can feel like a rocket, but it's a rocket that opens within you. It's not a rocket that takes you off the planet. A key difference. So let us be clear. They are all amazing energies. They are all sacred energies. They are not something to repress. They are not something to casually waste. They are the fuels, the raw, dense matter of spirit, waiting to be refined. In Taoism, in inner alchemy, they say, Jing transforms into Qi, prana. Qi refines into Shen or spirit. And then Shen merges into the void. Consciousness, Shakti. Shiva. In yogic terms, I mentioned this, Jing corresponds to the ojas, the subtle essence that supports Kundalini's ascent. And when you live unconsciously, Jing is constantly leaking. We are turned on, we are turned off, leaking, being misused, misrepresented. Today, it happens a lot through overstimulation, social programming, sexuality, emotional indulgence, and mental addiction to pleasure. But when you contain it, when you transmute it through awareness and devotion, Jing becomes luminous. It rises. It combines. It transforms to prana with prana. And eventually activates Kundalini Shakti. So the relationship between Jing and Kundalini is not identity. It's alchemy. One activates the other, but only when consciousness is mature enough to direct it. When I say mature enough, I mean open enough. When you have released enough of your armor, enough of your programming, to see it. So do they transform, or are they different, these energies? People argue over this irrelevant point in ego battles of right and wrong. When a tree falls, the kinetic energy hits the ground and becomes sound, heat, and light. We do not know the exact formula. People argue, well, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, will it sound? There is a formula for the transformation of energies. They transform from one to the other. So is this a transformation, a transmutation of energy? Do they change frequency? They do, according to how we understand physics. So are they the same energy? Energy is energy, but the frequency has changed. So therefore, the difference between the energy of arousal and the energy of Kundalini Shakti is frequency. No? Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you wish. Bring your awareness down to the base of your body, to the pelvic floor, the sacrum, the reproductive area. And if you can, feel a warm, sensual density there, a warmth, a pulse, an alive potential. That's Jing. That's the arousal energy. We all have it. We can all feel it, more or less depending on how open we are. But it's there. It is one of the simplest energies to connect to, much like prana. Kundalini Shakti is very different. Now breathe gently. Breathe into the spine. Allow the spine to open. Not forcing, not imagining, simply allowing. Notice how awareness itself can begin to connect to that energy in the pelvis. From heaviness to movement. From movement to a subtle tingling. Now this may take practice, that's okay. And from a tingling to a luminous presence. This is letting the Jing, the tantric energy, ascend. This is not Kundalini Shakti. It takes a transformation of the energy within the root for it to transform. The Egyptians would say the Jed pillar to activate Kundalini Shakti. This is a real tantric practice. That change. It's not neo-tantra. It's not what they teach. It's not indulgence. It's not suppression. It is transformation. Here's where the big misconception or even lie comes in. In modern Tantra and the Kundalini activation world, many facilitators teach that arousal or the orgasmic current moving is Kundalini. This can be the arousal or the orgasmic current of Tantra. It can be, which we will talk about later, that of prana. They say you just have to feel your pleasure and the release of trauma, and that is your Kundalini awakening. Yet they are very mistaken. That is your Jing or your prana activating, the stirring of vital essence or life force, but without the refinement to Kundalini Shakti, the cosmic energy. The true Kundalini arises in silence and in stillness, not in movement and release. And when it does, transform. In the case of Jing, it is no longer a sexual energy or essential energy. It becomes cosmic in nature. The shaking, the convulsions, the moaning, the talking in tongues, that's prana or Jing dancing, discharging, the inner dance within the body. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's amazing. It's just different. It's a purification or the healing stage, not the realization or the awakening stage. The deception is not in the feeling, it is in the mislabeling of what we are feeling as awakening instead of healing. When I'm working with clients, with students, I'm constantly reminding them, teaching them the difference. My courses are designed specifically for this. So here's what to remember. Jing is your essence. Cultivate it, protect it. Prana is your vital life force. Move it like an inner dance all day, every day. Shakti is your bridge. Kundalini Shakti is your bridge to awakening, and that is the rising and connecting to Shiva or consciousness for a full awakening. Each needs a different level, a higher level of surrender and acceptance. If not, you will understand why there are so many warnings about these energies. Fear, desire, egoic ideologies must be let go of. If you master the first and then the second, they can refine naturally. This is what, again, I teach my students in my trainings. It will allow you to raise the third effortlessly and without issue. No cosmic boom that can set off a trigger of events. It is calm, it is slow, it is smooth. This is the true path of internal alchemy, of all spiritual practices. And of course, Kundalini Awakening. Not escaping the body, but realizing the divinity through it. When you honor your essence and your life force energies, you honor the temple through which that cosmic Kundalini can rise. The temple. The physical and the mental bodies must be clear. Clear of ego, clear of trauma. If you are ready to go deeper into this real Kundalini awakening, but not only Kundalini awakening, the tantric energy, the pranic energy, and even the further light body energy, the exterior, the way, the Merkaba. First of all, watch more videos on this channel. Get accustomed. See if you wish to work with me. And if you do, go to theawakeningenergy.com and begin your training with me. Because knowing, intellectualizing this is not enough. It does not even start to grasp the experience of it. You must ignite it through practice. Please remember to share this video, and I will see you in it.